What's up, everyone? It's Al here. As you can see, I'm not flanked by the usual crew. We know Chris has been out for a while. Adam's usually right by my side, but tonight we have something a little bit different, something very special for you, and it's something that needed a show of its own. If you listen to us often, you know that Adam, Chris, and I like to talk sometimes about experience that we had playing sports, but none of us were college athletes, let alone D1 athletes. Well, tonight we're going to actually have a former D1 athlete on the show. And I'm excited to be joined by someone who not only played Division I basketball, but currently plays as an overseas professional. And that guy is John Harrar, former Penn State Nittany Lion big man. He's going to be joining me to talk about what it was like playing hoops both here and right now in Japan, as well as a lot more. They call him the King of Delco, so we're going to see if we can find out why. So I'm going to hit the video, and the next thing you see, it's going to be John and I having a little bit of a chat.
MVP.
It's one in the air, left center field, back it goes. Harper, the swing of his life.
You never get ahead of yourself. As
I know Randy's do every day. It's always been that way for me. Always been a get better mentality every day, grow every day, be a better leader every day, be a better quarterback every day. And when that wrench do, I don't plan on missing no payments. So.
All right, welcome everyone to a very special 3 in the Keystone interview show. I'm Al Ryan. Joining me is Penn State's all-time leader in rebounds in the Big Ten tournament in the history of Penn State. It's Mr. John Harrar. John, what's going on?
Not much. Thanks for having me on. I actually had practice in about three and a half hours, and that video got me going, man.
Oh, let's go.
The hype video. I'm ready to go.
Dude,
run through a wall now. Let's go.
I'll send you the file. You can add that to the playlist, man.
That was good.
For those of you that might be listening live, you might be wondering, what's John talking about practicing 3 hours? John's joining us live from Japan right now. And over there right now, if I'm not mistaken, John, it's about 11 in the morning?
It's 11 a.m., yo.
All right. Well, rise and shine, my friend. Thanks for joining us, during your lunch hour here.
No problem. Thanks for having me on. Anyone that wants to talk some Penn State hoops, as you told me you're a fan, I'm ready.
Yeah, so I want to keep this to a minimum about myself, but I was a big and still am a big Penn State fan. Unfortunately, our boys aren't doing too well this evening against Michigan State. But I want to talk more about your career, what it was like playing in Division I. John, you were no slouch on the court. You averaged a double-double. You shot 64% from the field in your 5th season there at Penn State. You were first all-time in games played in Penn State basketball history until just this past season when your former teammate Miles Dredd was able to take that accolade from you. Now, I did run some ball at Penn State from time to time. That was mostly in the intramural building, the IM building. Not so much obviously at the BJC, but let's just start there. Like, what was it like playing D1 ball? What was it like playing at Penn State?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely my dream growing up. It was hard for me to get there, just like anyone else, but I didn't have the offers that, the rest of my teammates at Penn State had. So Penn State was really my only option. I always tell people I had to try out. Like, no one really tries out for Division I basketball. It's all the recruiting trail and stuff like that. So, man, I mean, it was special. I got an extra year because of COVID, which, I mean, really helped me and my development. Got to play under Coach Shrewsbury, Coach Chambers, Coach Ferry. So played really 3 different styles of basketball. But it was amazing. I mean, it was a dream come true. Being a kid from outside of Philly, going to Penn State. I mean, that in itself is a dream come true.
I'm glad to hear that, because you don't hear many hoopers say that about our alma mater. So I'm glad to hear that. But I thought that you had gotten recruited by some of the lower to mid tier D1 schools. I thought I saw that on the recruiting trail. There were some schools, Cornell, Rider, Army, to name a few, looked at you. Am I mistaken?
Yeah, those were actually to go be a tight end for football.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for basketball, it was I did take an official visit to Rider, but a lot of schools were just very oh, keep in touch, and that's the hard part with recruiting because they have to make sure that they have a big man. But I mean, as a player, you got to make sure that you have a place to go.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, I had different opportunities to go play football just off of like the raw, talent or the raw 6'7" tight end frame. But if you ask me if I knew how to run a route, the answer would be no.
So is that then what kind of pushed you towards basketball and away from football? Was just the fact that maybe, you didn't feel as comfortable on a football field as you did on the hardwood?
Yeah, I always loved basketball. I think basketball is way more fun than football. So I think I always knew, but when it comes down to, I mean, if you have the opportunity to go be on a scholarship somewhere and help in that way, then me and my mom said, "Oh, you're gonna take the scholarship." I was gonna go play in Army at Army, so
Well, that's
But I think basketball is more fun,
yeah,
more fun to play, more fun to watch, everything.
that's great parenting advice by mom there. Money, take the
Yeah,
scholarship.
yeah,
You're doing
yeah.
well. So let's get right into your freshman year. Your freshman year, you came right out of the gates. You started a bunch of games, and you were on the Penn State team that actually was able to go all the way to the NIT and win it in Madison Square Garden. You actually, I don't know if you remember that championship game. I'm assuming you do. You had season highs, career highs at that point in that game. You had 7 points. You snatched 12 rebounds. Do you have any memories from that tournament or that game itself, playing at Madison Square Garden, or anything along the way there?
Yeah, I mean that was a special run. Obviously, people thought we were another tournament team. I remember when we didn't get selected, guys like Tony Carr and them were a little upset, but then I can remember our first game against Temple, and this is when Big Mike Watkins got an injury, so I was kind of forced into the fire, and I remember like the attitude toward the Temple game was like, man, we didn't make the NCAA tournament, why, it's the NIT. No one is like, yes, we're in the NIT, we need it, let's go, So, but I remember against Temple, Shep Gardner, who was a senior at the time, just was like, man, I'm not losing this game, and we had the other pieces, other talent. And then from there, it was just like why not just go win it all? If you look, there was like some crazy stat. It was like 95% of teams that win the NIT make the NCAA tournament the following year or something like that. So, we got hot. We were on the run. Everyone was feeling good. Had a good summer. We ended up losing Tony Carr to the draft. Shep left us. Julian left us. So then that next year was just it was a struggle. But man, that NIT run was special, and it was Madison Square Garden. I don't know if you remember the video of them doing a "We Are" chant again when we were playing Utah, and oof, man, that was fun.
The Penn State fans were out. I remember the buses that were taking kids, by the hundreds from University Park up to New York City to go watch that team, and it became almost like a home game for you guys, if I'm not mistaken. I would imagine.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because back then, especially the BJC, the Bryce Jordan Center, which is Penn State's home arena, didn't get filled too often. Penn State basketball is not really on the map. It had been a while from the Taylor Battle years. So I would imagine that the MSG game, it had to be like the biggest home game of your season that year, was it not?
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, if Michigan or Michigan State came to the BJC, then we would get a little more. But I would say MSG. And there's a bunch of people after graduating from Penn State. I'm sure you have friends that moved to New York that, build their life there. So we got a lot of those people as well. But no, that was special. I think there was probably 7,000, 8,000 Penn State fans in MSG that night.
Incredible. It's the biggest alumni network in the world, as they told me when I was
There
a
you go. They're still saying it, I think, too.
So your freshman year ends. You talk about, potentially the guys feeling like they're going to ride that wave of momentum into the next season. Unfortunately, the next season doesn't go well. As you said, Tony Carr leaves for the draft. You lose Shep Garner, who was a leader on and off the court. But then the year after that, the 2019-2020 season, I mean, you guys come right out. You win 5 in a row. I think you're 12-2 at one point. You're ranked at several points in the season as high as you were. The Penn State Nittany Lions, you guys were in the top 10 in the polls that season. What was it like playing that season for a team that clearly had tournament aspirations, before everything went down with COVID?
Yeah, it was special. I mean, I think I'm old school, and I think what made that team so good and so, why we won so many games. Number one, we had Lamar. Lamar was obviously he's a pretty good player.
Lamar Stevens,
But
special player, another Roman kid.
yeah, for sure, for sure. But I think maybe Lamar and then this point is that we all stayed after that terrible year that we had. We lost 10 games in a row in the Big Ten my sophomore year, the year before this, but no one transferred. I think the only person to leave there's maybe one person to leave, and the other person went back to Russia.
Yeah.
But everyone else stayed. Everyone else was like, we all believed in coach, and we all believed in each other. And then we come back, and now I think that's just that one will never happen, just because of the transfer portal. And it was there back then, but I don't think it's anything like what it is now. And I think, man, that was just special. We all stuck together. And then obviously COVID took the world down. So it happened to everyone. But that was, of course, the year Penn State basketball had some tournament aspirations. COVID had to come in and say no. But man, that year was special.
I can't imagine what it felt like for you as a player getting that taken from you. And of course, COVID, we're talking about this within a bubble. We know that there's a lot worse things than a basketball season ending when it comes to COVID. I personally felt cursed. I thought I was cursed as a sports fan that this team that I love, that's finally going to get to make the tournament, isn't going to make it. But there was one other game that season that I wanted to talk about, that I was actually there cheering you on in person for, and it was the game against Iowa at the Palestra. Iowa was ranked at the time; they're 23rd in the nation. You guys get to play what Pat Chambers had kind of set up as a neutral site game, but again, ends up being a home game because of all of the Philadelphia and the surrounding area talent that was on that team. Do you have any memories? What was it like getting to play at the Palestra?
Yeah, I don't. For our Delco fans, I don't have any idea why Fran McCaffrey, the Iowa head coach, took that game, because he's from Delco. He's from this area, or that area, and I have no idea. I think he just wanted to, go visit home for the holidays or something, because it was around me. No idea why he would take that game, but that game was awesome. The Palestra is so special because it's not like the BJC where it's so far apart. People are on top of each other, sweating. I mean, Big Five hoops for the Philly people has always been something like. I mean, I've watched Villanova play in the Palestra. Anyone that knows basketball in the Philly area has been to the Palestra, so it was special. I remember I had to guard Luka Garza, who two-time Naismith player there. He was incredible. His shooting, his touch around the rim, his motor, and oh man, that game was awesome. The floor, I don't know if you remember watching. The floor was soaked.
Right. It was
The
wet.
humidity, so no one could like really make a cut.
Right.
But you had freak athletes like Isaiah Brockington like dunking and everything, and I was like, Zay, how are you doing this right now? I can't even like stop myself. I think they had to stop the game, put the fans out.
Yeah,
uh, to blow air on the court and stuff. Oh man, that was fun.
yeah, and you guys did pull out the win. Listen, I won't go over Luca's stats in that game. I will say that you held him to 7 of 14 from the free throw line.
When you played Iowa, you knew that they're gonna score 90 points. It was just like it's just how they play, and Luka's gonna have like 1/3 or 1/3 of those points. He's gonna have, and then Bohannon. I don't know if you remember him. He's gonna shoot 10 threes.
Yep.
Maybe he makes 4, maybe he makes 6, but Iowa, man, they do not. It seems like they don't care about defense. Like obviously they do, but they after you score, they just run. It's like Michigan State. Get the ball out, run, fast break layup, set up that 2-3 zone.
Yeah, and as a fan, I've always looked at Iowa basketball and Iowa football being very similar, where they just grind you out. I used to play pickup ball with a guy that was from Iowa, and he just had the nastiest footwork. Like he was just like he wasn't fast, he wasn't quick. He just like knew how to use his feet, and he would score with ease. And it was just like, dude, where do you get this from? He's like, it's just Midwest basketball, man. It's just
Midwest basketball.
Yeah.
Well, I played with I played under Shrews, who's a Midwest dude until he dies. And man, I don't know if he hated it, but he would joke around and say that he hated like Philly, like Pennsylvania, East Coast. But he's like, I hate how these dudes play, just like trying to run. I don't know. They don't. The IQ's not there. He's like, I need a Midwest point guard.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, I don't know what the AAU trail is like out there, but I've always heard that a lot of kids in this area tend to pick up a lot of bad habits playing AAU for so long. Did you play AAU at all for basketball?
I did. I played on the Under Armour team for Philly, which was another very lucky experience I had because I got to play against, the top 100 recruits and go on that AAU trail. But no, for sure. We had a really good coach. You can get lucky or unlucky with AAU. If you have someone that is a really good coach teaching you the right habits that can translate to college, then that's good. But you get on some of the AAU teams, man, they just are playing pickup YMCA.
Yeah. Give me a off the top of your head like a top 2 or 3 guys you played against in high school.
Oh man, in AAU, I remember playing Josh Jackson. He was, I mean, I don't even know where he's at now. But in high school, he was the man. He was number 1 player. I played against Harry Giles. You remember that name?
It's not striking a. I gotta look that one up.
Okay. He was number 1 player of like the 2016 class. All these guys, in the NBA, they didn't really. I mean, obviously they panned out because they made the NBA, but they were number 1 player at the time. If you have some free time, look up Harry Giles hoop mixtape. I mean, probably one of the best hoop mixtapes you'll ever watch.
So he went to Duke, former first round 20th overall pick. My co-host Adam is actually in the chat, and I'm sure he remembers him. He actually just chimed in here. He said, still in the NBA, went to Duke. Yeah, knee issues, he said.
Yeah, he was incredible. Just a bunch of other guys. I mean,
we do have a question in the chat from my co-host here, John. He wants to know who's the best player that you ever had to guard, and then he adds, can't be Garza.
Can't be Garza. Wow, the hardest player I ever had to guard. Maybe it's because I was younger when I had to take on this task. But do you guys remember Tyler Cook from Iowa?
Yeah.
Oh man,
was that your freshman year?
It was freshman and sophomore year, and he was just so strong, so springy. In the Big Ten, the bigs aren't usually athletes. So when I came across Tyler Cook, who is a heck of an athlete, I was like, man, this guy is incredible. And then, I mean, obviously, Zach Edey. I think I did a good job on Zach Edey. Like, I take pride in that. But Zach Edey is going to shoot a right-handed hook shot. You just have to get the rebound. I hope you can get the rebound if he misses. But there's nothing you can do about it. You can foul him, but I don't think I can jump as high as he can, his reach.
Right.
So, you got to do your work early. You can't let him catch the ball right in the paint. But man, Zach Edey, I think he's going to be 2-time player of the year too. And people are like, oh, he's just tall. Man, he can make his free throws. If he was just tall, he wouldn't be able to make his free throws. And if he was just tall, he wouldn't have a hook shot. Because there's a lot of people in college basketball that don't have a hook shot and can't make a free throw and are 7 feet. So I give a lot of credit
Yeah,
to Zach.
he's a sight to behold in the college game. I obviously worry about, can his game translate, to the NBA, being that big and having to, you have to move a lot more in the NBA. So, but that Big Ten final game, your fifth year, man, talk about a heartbreak. I remember you guys were only down 4 at the half. You kind of had them right where you wanted them. Jalen Pickett he caught fire at one point. I think it might have been in the second half, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, they're going to punch their ticket. They're going to do it.
Yeah, we were close. I remember the game-winning play was made. Jaden Ivey, he made it was some 50-50 ball, and he just flashed. He looked like Flash. Just stole the ball, right hand dunk, and then they were up 3, I think, instead of up 1. And oh man, but what a game! I mean, for us to be like the bottom seed,
What a
to
run.
almost win, yeah. And then they did it last year too. Something about Shrews and like league tournaments. He's dangerous.
Listen, the Nittany Lions have had a couple of out of nowhere conference tournament runs, at least in the 20 years that I've kind of been a fan. We seem to get one every like 3 to 4 years or so.
Yeah.
They'll make a run to the semis, or they'll make a run to the finals. And sometimes it leads to something good, like last season. Let me ask you this: last season was for you. What was that like, watching this team finally make it to the big dance? Even though obviously you were no longer with the team, was it kind of like you could celebrate as though you were part of that team, because there were obviously a lot of guys you played with on that team?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all those guys I played with, except maybe 2. So to see that, I mean, I was most happy for Seth, because Seth he was a freshman on our top 10 team. So to see Seth go from it's like the little brother. Not that I'm his older brother or anything, but when you see when the young guys become the seniors, I mean, it's interesting for you because now you realize you're older. But to see Seth do that, I was so happy for Seth. And then obviously now, it was really that maybe, oh man, you would know more than me. Indiana game at home, Maryland game at home last year, right before the conference tournament. I think Seth had like 7 threes. Ever since that game, he just has not stopped shooting the ball. Like even in the NBA and the G League in the summer, he just has not missed. I don't know what happened that game, but
That's what got him going. I mean,
it was incredible.
He was shooting at an incredible clip from 3 last year. And it was nothing like he had shot before. Like, it was, as a fan, it was kind of the season we had all been waiting for quite some time, because Seth was a pretty highly touted recruit coming out of high school too.
Yeah.
The last in the long line of Roman recruits for Penn State. And I remember I always was kind of waiting for him to get to that Lamar Stevens, level of ability. And then he finally kind of touched on to that last season, as you were saying. But I mean, you guys, last year's team, they just had shooters everywhere. Andrew Funk, they had Miles Dredd. They just had guys that could put the ball in the bucket.
For sure. Yeah. Oh, and Miles obviously is another one who I was happy for, because Miles has been in a leadership role since I was a senior in high school for Penn State. Like he was a junior in high school.
Miles.
Yeah, and he's just like recruiting me. He's a year younger than me. He's recruiting me to come to Penn State. He's been like the captain of the team for 7 years now. So just to see that, I was happy. But I remember I was in Spain last year, and I stayed up until it was like 4 a.m. their game against Texas A&M, I think. Yep. I'm just staying up. The next day I show up exhausted. And my coach, he's Spanish. Like, people don't understand that if you're in a different country, they don't really know what's going on in America. Not every, they don't know like, oh, the NCAA tournament's happening. Like, even though he's the head coach, but he looks at me and he's like, in his English, he's like, John, you watched the game last night because I was just exhausted. And I was like, I had to. He's like, I saw a good game. I had to stay up, man. That game, the floodgates were open. That game.
They were raining down threes, and I was so afraid because I'm a big believer in the law of averages, and I'm just like, man, I just really hope they didn't kind of use these all up in this game, and it's kind of what ended up happening. When they met Texas in the second round. But I'm glad you started talking about Spain because I did want to touch on your overseas career a little bit, which is now in its second year. If I'm not mistaken, you're in Japan. You're playing for Veltec Shizuoka. How'd I do with that?
Oh, that was really good. That was really good. Wow.
I'm impressed. We do our homework here at the 3K podcast, John. You're currently averaging a double-double. You're averaging 11.4 points, 10.4 rebounds. So you're playing in Japan's B2 league. There's 14 teams. Tell me a little bit about it. What's it like playing hoops overseas and in Japan?
Yeah, I mean, Japan's an awesome country. Like, there's a lot of people that want to visit Japan, I know, from America. Unfortunately, I never was on the anime kick. So I know anime is huge over here, and I know there's people, like, I have a couple friends that are like, oh man, you watching the anime? And there's a bunch of like merchandise and stuff. I never got into that, but nah, Japan as a country is, I say it's America and Asia. Like,
okay,
I don't know. You can eat. There's, obviously there's McDonald's everywhere, but there's KFC over here. Funniest thing, like, Japanese people think that on Christmas Day, America goes to KFC and eats like their Christmas meal. So there's like everyone, apparently this is what like my Japanese teammates told me. They all go to KFC for Christmas like lunch and they just get fried chicken. Like Japanese people love American culture and stuff, so it makes the adjustment easier over here. But I mean, I just have my family over here. Like, they love everything. I mean, it's a very thriving country.
Yeah, and we were talking about it before. You say you're obviously, when you walk out in public, you're recognized. You're kind of like, people ooh and ah because you're the 6'9" white guy, walking around in probably downtown Japan. I'm not sure where, what the city is like there. But is the attitude towards basketball there? Like, is there a lot of pressure on you to succeed? Is there a lot of, do the fans come out to the games? What's it like as far as on the court?
Yeah, I mean, the number one sport here, as people know, probably as of 3 weeks ago, is baseball. I mean, baseball is huge over here. Their stadiums it's like Citizens Bank. Like, they have these incredible stadiums. They have, great players that come and not maybe dominate the MLB. So I would say that definitely is number one over here. And then basketball is growing. They actually just qualified for the Olympics for the first time, and they beat a European team. They beat Finland in the qualifier. It was the first time they ever beat a European team. So now there's a lot more attention to, obviously genetics plays a role. Japanese players aren't the tallest, and in basketball, height is obviously an advantage. So, but no, it's growing. We actually get about 2,600 people to our game. It's sold out. I mean, it's like an NBA game. The entertainment factor in Japan is insane. They play like they're playing Drake during our offense. Like, we're on offense and they're just playing music. In college, you don't see that. In the NBA, obviously you see that. But I mean, we have cheerleaders, we have a dance team, like we have all this different type of merchandise. Like, it's definitely ran like a business over here compared to Europe. And if you're not at the highest level in Europe, it's definitely just, we're playing basketball. It's a great quality of basketball, but we're playing basketball and that's it.
It's funny you mentioned, I have to ask you if you remember this. During every Penn State timeout at the Bryce Jordan Center, they played the same damn song for about 10 years, dude. Do you know what song I'm talking about?
Oh, man. See, I had a different MC. I had a different DJ, I think.
They played the instrumental portion of that "Click Click Boom" song for 10 years. I don't know if you remember that song. If you don't
I don't.
add that to the pump up playlist. I would be sitting at home watching TV, and then the first game I'd watch when you guys were at home, I'd say, "Man, I hope I don't hear that song this year." And every year I'd hear that damn song.
Well, I got to know the guy who did entertainment in the BJC. I got to ask him about this. What was it?
It's like a guitar riff. It's like I don't want to do I don't want to try to like sing it when we're off the air. I'll play it for you or something. But I swear to God, if you hear it, you're gonna recognize it because it was definitely played while you were there. It just stopped getting played. You know what they play now? They play a lot of that the horns that the Mets closer comes out to that got real big. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
So in the chat though, my buddy just reminded me it was POD. It was a POD song. Click click boom. That's what always got played at the Bryce Jordan.
I gotta look into it now.
All right. Well, like I said, after the show's over, I'll play it for you, and I guarantee oh, that's it.
Oh, for sure, I'll remember it.
But it sounds like to me what you're saying is like basketball in Japan is almost like a little bit like soccer here, where it's growing, it's got a little bit of a fan base, but it still has a little bit of ways to go as far as being one of the major or one of the most followed sports over in Japan, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think baseball will hold that crown here. It's baseball special.
Is Shohei just like a god there?
Oh, for sure. I mean, you go into these stores. I think Shohei has 700 sponsorship deals. Like it's just cardboard cutouts of Shohei like on every store, and you're like, wait, I just saw him have this watch sponsorship. Now he has like this shoe sponsorship. He has his belt. Like, yeah, he's incredible. There's also a Japanese point guard in Nebraska, Tomi Naga. I don't know if you know who that is, but he is killing the Big Ten right now. He just had 28 points against Indiana. And I talked to all my teammates about him because he plays on the national team here. And man, he is killing the Big Ten.
Wow. I don't, unless they're playing Penn State, I'm not really following basketball, so I'll have to check. Would you say that is it him and like Ken Watanabe like is
I mean those two are definitely and Rui Hachimura, yeah. Those two obviously they're the biggest basketball wise for sure. And then Tomi Naga, there's like 3 players over here. I mean, they're 5'8" maybe on a good day. And they play like Steph Curry. Like they just shoot the ball. They're in the first league. They're not in my league. But like the skill, the work ethic, like how they move, how they like act as professionals is like online with like Steph Curry. It's incredible. These guys, I mean, like 6 threes a game, 5 threes a game, coming off dribble handoffs, fade away, between the leg cross, like James Harden step backs, and man, they're incredible.
I gotta tell you, I joked about playing in the IM building and like the white building and stuff when I was at Penn State. The one year I stayed there for summer session. I don't know how often you were there for the summer, but that's when a lot of the exchange students would come and they would take classes at Penn State because of the all-world campus or whatever it was called. I'm not sure if it was called the same thing when you were there, but I remember getting ran off the court by a bunch of Japanese students that just came and they played exactly the way you said. They were setting like off-ball screens and stuff just in like a pickup game, fadeaways from like 24 feet out, and that was way before Steph Curry. And I just what the hell's going on here? Like I was like a out of shape, junior at the time, like just trying to get a little run in, and they just were wiping people off the court, man. It was insane.
Yeah, I mean I would say the big thing here is the professionalism. I mean, it is happened to him a lot. It is very a high level of professionalism here. You know who is over here on like a top 4, top 3 team is DJ Nubo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's over here in the first league. I mean, they love him over here. He has all the fans. He actually invested with someone else in a nightclub in a major city over here. So I mean, he loves it over here. Like I don't know if he's where he spends his summers, but he loves it. He's big over here.
So for the listeners, DJ Newbill, also a Penn State alum, went to Strawberry Mansion in Philadelphia, so he's also a Philly guy. That's good to hear. I mean, I followed him his career at Penn State as well. Used to always call him 3J, and then the E in Newbill will be a 3. Yeah, dude, I did not know he was over there too. Do you guys talk a lot? Do you see each other? I don't know if you're, in the
we don't
area.
Yeah, we don't see each other, but I mean we'll talk or whatever. Just just like a simple message.
Right.
I'm actually I'm trying. I did the TBT last year. I don't know if you're familiar with the TBT, but
I am. I was there. I was there at Trenton for the semis.
Really, I was there.
I didn't see. I saw Mike. So I saw Mike. Well, because you can't miss you either, but you can't miss Mike.
Yeah. I went. Man, that's some good basketball.
It was
that
great.
was some high level basketball.
It was a phenomenal show, a great presentation. I was there with my friends and my kids. My son is 7 years old, and like they were just like showering us with like clothes and gift cards, and they were putting my kid on the big screen like every chance they had. It was just like it was a lot of fun. He met Mo Bamba. It was great.
Yeah, that was some high level basketball. But I'm trying to get DJ on the squad. We'll see if it can work out. But
I was going to ask you about that next. If the Happy Valley Hoopers were going to try to put together a team for next year's CBT.
Oh yeah, I put in my application. We're in.
Fantastic. So, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
Now we'll have to talk about swapping some apparel. So maybe I can get you a 3K hoodie. You can get me a Happy Valley Hoopers t-shirt.
Yeah, for sure. I got a couple.
All right, I'll get your size when we're off the air.
But hopefully, last year, first year had to learn it, had to bring in the Penn State. So this year, trying to level up. We'll see. We'll see.
Yep. Now I know you said that you have practiced a little bit, so I want to get you out of here. In the next couple of minutes. I had a couple more questions. I know that we talked about that you had originally committed to Army as a football recruit. You dabbled in tight end. You actually tried out for the Eagles.
I did.
You tried out for the Philadelphia Eagles. What was that like?
A deer in headlights right there.
You couldn't even enjoy it. Like it was just like.
Oh, I loved it. Loved it. Yeah, I got a couple funny stories about that, but the head of the Eagles scouts, Eagles has like 7 scouts, I think. I don't even know how it works, but he's a Penn Stater. He knows Ross Travis. Do you know? He knows that story. Yep. And the Eagles are notorious for signing like a rugby player and making him like a all-pro or something. Like, so I get this message from actually my basketball coach, and he's like, hey, someone reached out to me, like, would you be interested in Eagles mini camp? And I'm like, I had a couple professional basketball opportunities, but in no way was I going to the NBA or in a draft or any sort of that. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this out. And then for the next month, I start training football, but I don't really start because I don't know what I'm doing. So I got on like a lifting program. I tried gaining some weight. Now it just comes around. It's like, man, here you go. We're at the Eagles practice facility. Show up. Everyone's like, man, you're tall as hell. who are you? Show up. Do the film, meet the coaches and stuff, get the playbook. I haven't seen a football playbook ever. Usually it's just in high school, you just kind of run through things and you know what they are. So I get this playbook and I have no idea what's going on. Next day we show up, 50% helmets only, I think. Running routes, trying to learn how to block. I have Brent Selleck like teaching me the blocking form. I'm like, man, I can't. I couldn't get low enough. I couldn't get as low as he wanted me to get.
Right, right.
Uh, Different stuff like that. I'm trying though. They're like encouraging me. It's a positive attitude. And then we just get to walk through, which is like it's not walk through, but it is walk through. And these dudes are like picking on me, like personally, I felt because they're fighting for a spot too.
Right,
Like
right.
there was oh man, who was the first round pick? The big fella, Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis?
Yeah, so he's there, he's at minicamp, and he's on cruise control. Like, he's like, "I know I have a job," and I think this is how it should be, 'cause but again, I don't know the sport of football like I know basketball. So he's just like, being a professional, but not, like, going any more than 50% and just working on technique. But then there was these, like, 2 guys that same as me, not same as me, but, undrafted, not signed to anything, and they're coming off the edge, like ripping my shirt, pulling me to the floor. Like everyone, like the coaches are yelling. Sirianni is like, stay up," because the big thing's not to get injured. And these dudes are just like throwing me around. Like I'm like, man, what are we doing here? I'm thinking like now I need to act stupid,
Right,
and
right,
like me acting stupid is even worse because I don't know, you know,
right.
how stupid I could be and I could really hurt someone. So I'm just like letting these dudes. But I think at the end of the day, I don't even think it was a good look on them. You know?
To bring you in.
Yeah, to go like 100% on me during
Oh, yeah,
live,
right, 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 right,
right? Because it could hurt the quarterback if I fall, twist an ankle.
right.
There's stuff that you know. But nah, it was an awesome experience. They were like, with football, you never know what's gonna happen. Keep in touch. For the next month, I still think I might have a chance, practice squad, whatever. But yeah, I didn't prepare like I needed to.
Well,
If I really wanted
I
to,
didn't even know how to prepare for that.
I didn't. And I also think I might be 6'9", 6'10", now. That's too tall.
Yeah, yeah. And but you
It's too
could've
tall.
who's to say you can't potentially be the next Ross Travis? Ross Travis, to the listeners, former Penn State basketball player, played for the Kansas City Chiefs, and then just this past week he was hugging Taylor Swift in the press box. Did you see that?
Wow, yeah, for
That
sure.
that
And Ross is built like he's built a little like a football player. And I maybe I was, but now I'm a basketball player. I truly think Ross was maybe 6'6",
Yeah,
once you get to 6'8", unless you're a tackle or
right.
370 pounds,
And those
it's
guys are
difficult.
aliens. They're freaks.
They're freaks. Like their legs are
Yeah.
like my torso.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
now, it
I was
is
on the
just
sideline
it's a
preseason.
different game.
Yeah, standing and being able to see like Jordan Mailata, Jordan Davis, those guys, like
Yeah,
seeing them that close was just breathtaking. I mean,
nah,
you lose it on TV sometimes watching on TV how big these guys are.
right. Nah, but I mean that experience. I saw. I was just walking around like my first day, chicken with their head cut off, and Miles Sanders,
Yeah.
who like I would see, going out at Penn State, hanging out. He like sees me. He's like, "Yo, John, what are you doing here?" And I was like, "I'm trying out, man. Let's go." He's like, "All right, good luck." Like knowing he's like, "What is this dude? This dude's gonna get killed." Like, good luck, good luck. But
You gotta invite him to the basketball court. Tell him to come take
I
part in
bet
your
he would be good. I bet he could play.
well, listen, I wanted to wrap this up. You've been called the king of Delco on the internet by some Penn State fans in the past. You're from Swarthmore, right? Or from Wallingford, I'm sorry, right?
Wallingford, yeah.
Yeah. So you're from Wallingford, which to those that don't know Delco, that's like the what would you say? It's like the penthouse of Delco?
Yeah, the country club.
The country club. You're a Strathaven alum. Do you have any favorite Delco spots or memories or anything that you can share with the Delco collection of our fans?
Yeah, for sure. First off, that nickname came to me because Chambers is from Delco too,
Bonner.
and the guy who did social media for Penn State is a Darby guy, Delco guy. So he's picking on me. He's basically bullying me, and he's like, "Here comes the king of Delco," like just making fun of me. And then for some reason, he put it on social media one day, and then everyone was like, "King of Delco, King of Delco." So I just think that's funny how it originally was just like to bully me, and then somehow it ended up being like a nickname. Uh, Spots in Delco, man. I like media. Obviously, it's like a 2 mile ride for me. So I really like anything in media. It's a nice town, nice little town, man. Where I don't know.
I
Sophomore Pizza is a family spot. I'm sure
shout
you
out
know
spot,
Sophomore
shout out
Pizza.
spot for pizza.
Yeah, Trios. Do you remember Trios?
Well, yeah, I told
The
you, yeah, I'm not born and bred Delco. I just moved here, like not too long.
okay,
I'm still,
okay.
that's why I'm asking you. I'm trying to get, keep getting my feet wet here in Delaware County.
Yeah,
Got to know where to go.
yeah. Trio's closed, so
Okay. All right.
I mean, I'm removed too now. I mean, for the summers, I spend time there, but man, being up at Penn State and then being overseas now, I'm like, I think I washed the Delco off me. I don't even think I got the stench anymore. I
I
don't
don't
know.
think you can wash the Delco off you, but I will say this. Your accent is nothing like some of the accents that I hear on a daily basis. So
It's not.
yeah.
But I still have it. My girlfriend always says like, "Why do you say your A's like that?" Like, I got to go to class or something. And then when I'm speaking English to like my Japanese teachers, they're like, "John, you speak like a little different than other people," and I'm like, "It's Delco, baby. It's Delco."
There it is. All right, John, I got just a couple more questions for you, man. If I'm not mistaken, you have your degree in business administration. What does the future hold for John Harrar? Is it basketball? Is it coaching? Is it something in business? Where do you see yourself 5-10 years down the line?
Yeah, for sure. It's a great question. Obviously, I think I want to keep playing basketball. I just have so much fun. Like to play basketball as my job you know, seems like a good option for the next couple of years. Obviously, you gotta stay healthy. Things gotta go your way. It has to make sense for you to leave, your family and the country. And then, yeah, I think I want to get into coaching. I know it's a tricky industry to get in, but I would love to coach at Penn State. That seems like
I'd love to
that's
see you on the
always
sidelines.
yeah, that's always been something that I wanted to do. I actually wrote my letter to get my master's, my acceptance letter. I was like, I want to learn the leadership skills to lead Penn State basketball. That's what I wrote.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I definitely hope I can get into coaching. And I've had so many coaches help me, with basketball, obviously, but off the court, still have all those relationships and stuff. So
Okay. Well, listen, I'm a teacher in Lower Merion. I know it's not quite Penn State. It's not quite the D1, experience. But if the time comes, you want to come back and you want to dip your toes into the high school, back into the Central League. I know you were against them at one point at Strathaven, but I could put your name out there to the guys over at LM. They actually just played Springfield tonight. They blew Springfield's doors off.
yeah, I mean Lower Merion, at least when I was there, they win every game by 30 in the Central League. It's not even fun, It's like Lower Marion's gonna win. They're gonna win.
So let's end on this. I gave you some stuff, through email that I kind of prepped you for. I left this off. I want to go rapid fire. So I'm just going to give you like a category. Just give me the first name, the first thing that comes to mind. All right. You ready?
Okay.
So this is rapid fire. First one, favorite basketball player growing up.
Ooh, Shaq.
Okay. Makes sense. Favorite basketball player right now.
Jokic.
What's your go-to pump up song?
Oh, Mac Miller, 2009.
Okay. What about your go-to pregame meal?
Over here, it's a rice ball. I eat a rice ball with some sort of fish in it, usually salmon.
Okay. A little protein shot before.
Yeah, for sure.
Coolest college arena, maybe coolest college atmosphere that you played in.
Oh, I loved playing in Rutgers. The right.
Wow. Okay. I have a
Man,
cousin over there. You hear that?
the fans killed me there. That's why I loved it.
And you know what? And that shows that's always nice because you know that a place has knowledgeable fans when you know what I mean when they're getting after you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Favorite TV show?
Oh, Friends. I
Wow.
like Friends.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a
Favorite
Friends guy.
favorite movie?
This is recency bias. The Grinch.
The Grinch. The new one?
No, the Jim Carrey one.
Jim Carrey one. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
for
Have you
sure.
seen the new one? The new one's pretty good.
I have the animated one.
Yeah.
It's fire. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
With the Tyler the Creator soundtrack. It's not bad. If not playing basketball, you would be
Oof. Working to be a golf pro.
Oh, I love that answer. I love that answer. Wait a minute. You're a golfer as well.
Yeah, big in the family. We play a lot of golf.
All right. Well, now this next question is going to lead into that a little bit, but this is the last rapid fire question, John. What's the first thing you'll do when you come back to the States?
Wow, probably around the golf. I can't lie.
I love it because my co-host and I need a fourth in our foursome, and so it sounds like you're going to be that guy, John.
Let's go. I'm down. Where are we going? Clayton? You know Clayton?
I know
the good old municipal course.
I know Clayton. I got my 7-year-old playing out at Old Masters. I got him.
Oh my God, Old Masters. Old Masters is a level up from Clayton, but I think like 2 years ago, last year, the construction was insane.
Yeah,
there was like 4 holes, right? It's just like torn apart. I don't know how it is now, but Old Masters has some pretty holes on it.
I don't know if you're familiar. I cut my teeth at Cobb's Creek, and Cobb's Creek was dreadful. But they're now undergoing a multi-million-dollar renovation. Tiger Woods is in on it, so I'm looking forward to that. I think that's opening back up in 2026 or 7. I want to say.
Really? What's the home course for you? Like, what would you say you got? Old Masters?
I'm 5 minutes from Springfield, but Springfield's jacked their prices up so much. I'm usually at Paxton. Paxton. They'll let my son play for free. So we'll go out there on like a twilight on a weekday, and they'll let him play for free. We'll sneak 9 holes in and then head home.
The hilly course, Paxton, baby.
Very hilly.
Very hilly.
My one co-host is a member out at Bluebell. So when you come home, we'll talk.
All right.
Let's
Let's get the foursome. We can all wear some Penn State basketball gear. Be the Penn State basketball foursome. Let's get it.
Let's go, man.
What's your handicap?
We'll have to talk off the air about
Listen, I'm not good myself. But
all right.
I get it in the air. I get it in the air. You know.
Having 3 kids has severely made my golf game severely decline in the last 7 years. Not that I was ever anything good, John. I'm not going to lie. People that listen to this podcast know how bad of a golfer I am. So we'll just keep it at that.
Were you a Penn State golfer? Did you go when you were up at school?
No, you know what? One of my biggest regrets as far as taking classes at Penn State is that I didn't take golf. Because if you remember, there was a golf.
Yeah, for sure. At blue course. Or white course. Yeah.
Yes, but I took ballroom dance instead, which was the best class I took at Penn State, hands down.
Really? I'm mad I never took anything like that because as an athlete, as like a varsity athlete, they didn't make you take like physical ed or something like that. Or maybe they did, but we did it in the summer and it was only online. I think that's what it was. Yeah, it was only, man, but I wish I took some golf. I love it. I actually have a coffee table book. It's called The Complete Golf Manual. I just, open it up while I'm having my coffee. Maybe I can learn a couple things. Always got to improve the game. We went over here in Christmas in Japan, my family, on Christmas Day. We did a golf round. Man, the greenkeeping out here is incredible. Like, it's like 55 degrees out here, and these greens are just flawless.
And does Japan have, because I think I read that South Korea has a lot of them. the night courses where there's lights and you can actually play at night?
You know what? I bet they do. I don't know if they have them in my city, but I mean, I live like I could see Fuji, Mount Fuji, right when I walk out. And in the spring and summer, like the courses around Mount Fuji, it's like elite. It's like Marion, it's like exclusive membership, the buy-in fee, all that. Like I man, I hope I can play one of the courses around Mount Fuji, but imagine just teeing off hole one, Mount Fuji in the background, man.
Yeah, you got to do it, dude. Are you kidding me? You'll be hating yourself if you don't get out there.
For sure. I gotta try.
My co-host said he's got us. So when you come back to the States, it looks like we're playing around together at Bluebell, John. But I want to really just thank you, man. I appreciate this so much. As I said to you off the air, I was a huge fan of yours. I'm a huge Penn State basketball fan. So this to me was like a full circle for me. I'm actually a broadcast journalism major too. Really? Getting to use my degree finally.
Nice. I hope one day I can do the same. Let's go. I love seeing that.
So just thanks again, man, and best of luck to you, your playing career, everything else, and I hope we can keep in touch, and maybe we can talk. We can have you on leading up to the March Madness tournament, talk a little bit of college hoops again.
Nah, for sure. I would love to. Yeah, the round of golf, I'll put in my calendar. I don't think I've ever played Bluebell. I don't think I've ever played Bluebell. Yeah. I don't think I ever played it.
All right.
This was fun. Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. Let's do it, man.
Sure,
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll catch you later. Oh, I'm sorry, John. Actually, we have a tagline at the end of every episode. So do you want to say let's drop that beat?
Let's drop that beat.